Oh, yo, what's up? It's late. It's like 4 a.m. I just got home from like a 2 hour long walk, and just because I wanted to get this out before it's too late, we're doing an MCC randomizer wheel, but it's gonna become the predictions. We'll do actual predictions on stream today. I don't know if this video will be posted before the stream starts or if I'll schedule it to come out during the stream. It probably will be early enough. Stream will start at 3 p.m. BST UK time. That's 9 a.m. Eastern. Probably. Oh no, wait. There's a Nintendo Direct. It'll start whatever, man. I'll be live. I'll be live at some point. I'll be live whenever the hell. 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll probably be live. Regardless, I'm adding a veto. I'm not changing the wheel because I can't be asked. It's too late. Anybody who pops up that I think makes absolutely zero sense to even possibly be in this roster, I'm going to put in the veto. And that's how we get through this list. Alright? Got it? Alright, cool. Anyways. The people that I think possibly could be in this list, or in this list, are going to be interesting because I might put somebody in the There's No Shot tier that could actually end up being there. And also, there's no newcomers on this. Maybe I could buster up some random ass newcomers, but nah. The main thing that would be interesting is to see if the randomizer wheel can actually get something that's accurate. That would be pretty funny, right? So let's get started with our first person, Wade Box. I'm going to put Wade Box in the veto tier. They respect the Wade Box. I just don't think that's going to happen. It's Timmy. Hey, Timmy, probably not happening. So this is how most of this is going to go. Where Timmy at? Timmy there. Mid Mystic, also not gonna happen. And this is how we're gonna do this. G Nelly, that's possible. I think if G is in, she'd be on like a relatively like hype-ish team. Who would she be with though is the question. Probably like 5-up. And like a 5-up team. Maybe not here. I could see the 5-up team being like in this area. I'll put the 5-up team on Aqua. That feels like a 5-up spot. Blau, I don't think would be in this one. So we're gonna skip on that. Becky will definitely be in, I think. Assuming that she can make it. I think Beck's never getting benched. Becky could be on like a realm team, which could be like the opening one. She could be on like a closing team, which could be a hype one. She could be on like a regular ass team. I don't know. Beck could also work with G. I'm gonna say that Beck could be on like a nice closing day one hype team, because this is probably gonna be your either hermit team or your like realm team, which could have Becky on it. Fully could, because this is. I'm just gonna assume it's gonna be like Pangy and Ross or something as like the cool newcomers, because of course, right? That's just how it's gonna go. And if it's Pangy and Ross, then Beck and Toby would make sense to be with them, assuming it's like relatively standard comp. So maybe we'll go for that. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Critic Zeus could be in. That's possible. I don't necessarily think Zeus will be in, but it's possible. I think Zeus was on yellow the last time MCC came back. I think Zeus could just be on blue. Just a nice little, a little hint. Oh, that's Zeus again. All right, interesting. Ollie Heike Hate Me is possible to be included. It's possible that we see Ollie. I don't know if it's likely, but I think it's not out of the ordinary that we could potentially see Ollie Heike Hate Me pop up in this roster. I want to put him in veto for now because I think it's unlikely, but it's possible. Etho, now that would be cool. That would be quite cool. I'm not going to set my hopes high for Etho to make an actual appearance, but that is possible, technically. We're going to have to make a hermit team. Is our hermit team going to be on green like that again? Or is it just cyan? Or is it just pink? Or is it red? This would be a fire opener. If they just smack Etho on red as the opening team, that's ballsy. If you want to grab people's attention, though, that's ballsy. This is kind of an insane opener. But it's also maybe like too much of an insane opener, because the Etho team's probably going to be like your like second or number one biggest team or your second biggest team. Puffy could be in. I think Puffy could be on like Puffy was an orange last time they played. A yellow. Puffy on a yellow. No, Aqua on last time they played. Joey Grosseff I don't think will be in. Because Puffy was on orange in Undercup and then on Aqua and Party. Mitch, I don't think will be in. Then we have Amy. Amy, I think, is unlikely to be in, but Amy could be in. There might be 2 Realm teams. There might be 2 of them. You never know. That could be a red team. We're gonna go for that. Nestor, not gonna be in. Feinberg, pretty likely, right? Feinberg's a likely candidate to be in. That's gonna be pink though, right? There's no way that there's gonna be... I guess we don't have newcomers, so there's not gonna be like a Doc M77 newcomer appearance, but like... Feinberg Ethos so pink coated. Mock Swamp could be in, 100% possible. Mock Swamp... I'm gonna give that like a... Mock Swamp was on purple last time they played, I think. I don't know if Mock Swamp's been on lime. That's a very lime profile picture. Aquino supposedly could be in this event. Now, I will say I have probably messed up here, because Aquino totally, if he's in with a Spanish team, would probably be on like a red or like a whatever. But I'm on Cyan for now. I don't think that they're going to be on Cyan back-to-back. Unless they put up like purple Spanish team. Orange Spanish team. It's not going to be on the ones that I've already set up though. Well, I'll go for the Spanish team, I guess. Blau, I already got deconfirmed. Martin very likely to be in, of course. Martin, I would, in this instance, put with Mock Swamp, probably. Ryan Higa technically could be in. I think it's very unlikely. So I'm gonna deconfirm him. But, like, that could be interesting. Well. Zam. Now, this is a really interesting one. Zam could be in this event, technically speaking. However, I will say one thing. Zam, I think, as of very recent, significantly more likely to be an MCC. I think by the time that, like, invites and everything happened for MCC, it was not yet the time for Zam to have made an appearance. So I'm going to say for now it's unlikely. I also don't think that Pangy being confirmed in Rivals would mean that we then also have Zam in the event before. But I guess it's technically possible. That would be really cool. I was going to assume it's a no, which is a bummer. I would love to include Zam in this, but I just don't think that's going to be the case. Otherwise, maybe like here would be super fun. But I just don't think Zam will be in the immediate first event. Elena could very much be in. I would put Elena with Amy because that's a good combo. But is that what I think would be the case? No, I think Elena could be here. If 5UP's got like another good player on the team, this could be a combo for sure. 5UP, Elena G, and like, I don't know, somebody. That could be fun. I think that could be pretty possible. For the rest, what else? Where else could Elena be? Here, possibly, maybe. Here, possibly, you know. You never know. I'm gonna go for this. This could be interesting. SB737. Now that's a good person to include here, isn't it? That is a great one. I mean, SB could be there. I think SB would be on a hype team potentially because it's like a highly requested person to return. But there you go. Amy's a return, or is a duplicate player rather. Connery's fans probably not in this event. Probably no Connery's fans. Would be cool though. Maddie probably not in this event. If I had to guess. Maddie's over here. Skiz, likely to see Skiz in this event. Very likely. Probably with Feinberg and Etho. That would make the most sense, but we're probably getting more Hermit rep. Do I want to account for that? Fine and Skiz have already teamed, so I could see Skiz being on a different Hermit team. Maybe an orange one. Maybe, you know, Gem could be on there, or maybe a purple one. Maybe even with like Zeus and Fruit or something, right? Although Fruit and Zeus, I think, already teamed semi-recently in terms of when Zeus played. Could also... No, that doesn't really work that well. I'm gonna go for Skizzleman, purple team. Possibly. Although, who am I expecting here? Because Ren was on purple recently. Other hermits aren't. I feel like purple's not a very hermit-heavy team color usually. Megan probably not going to be in this one, if I had to guess. Laser Beam probably not going to be in this one. Ryan, he gets a duplicate. This is going to be a long-ass video. Gizzy not going to be in this one. This is going to be a really long video. The way that this is going, Finster will not be in this one. It's going to be a really long, this is going to be a really long one, wow. Sandwich, highly unlikely, but it's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely. Eloise, almost guaranteed. I think Eloise's appearance is super, super likely. Now, I was saying that I think a Pangy, Toby, Beck, and Ross team could be likely to see in this event. So that would mean that Eloise would not be on this team, but Eloise could be in the first team announcements. Would be with, I don't know what that just said, but would be with some, it would be with an experienced player, could be like Phil, and then probably another decent player, maybe like Pete. That could be fun. Or maybe it would be like Callum and another decently experienced player. I think that could be really fun too. Those are all options. Jojo could also be somebody who could be there, and then, you know, insert other player. Or do I want to set up another team? I mean, it is MCC. This would make sense. Oh, I could go for that. This is going to be a bit of a mess. Or do I want to go for like that? That could be fun. Put like Jimmy here and put like H-Bomb or something like that. That could be a pretty solid team. I don't hate that. I really do not. I honestly think that could be pretty fun too. But this feels pretty fun. I like that. Capitan Gato. Well, he's got to go on Cyan, doesn't he? Kind of has to. Velvet, I think, could be in this event, of course. Velvet would go where though? That is peculiar. Here would make a lot of sense, right? Sure. Velvet with Puffy. You'd expect Ant to be there, but there's other people that could go there too. Rendog. Hey, speaking of hermits that I was talking about, I'm putting Rendog here, I think. I'm putting him here. I think, look, if we're accounting for possible newcomers, Doc is on the list of possible newcomers, and this would be a kind of a banger. Fine, Ren, Etho, Doc M77 sounds wonderful. Catherine, I don't think will be in this event. Blau, I've now had 3 times. There's Tubbo. I think Toby on pink. That's his spots. Toby is just the pink guy. Not purple guy, he's pink guy. He could be here too, but he's so pink. Ray. Would love to see Ray make an appearance randomly again in MCC, but probably not happening. Awesome, dude. Now, this is a peculiar one, because Sam, in terms of, like, you know, being in an MCC, fitting on these teams, is possible. But Sam also, I think, isn't really active anymore in MCC's sphere. So I would argue that it's probably not going to happen. I'd argue that Sam probably won't be in this event. It's not impossible, but he probably won't be. Otherwise, here would make sense. This could be fun. This would be really fun for him too. This could work. But I'm going to put him on the bench for now. This is going to take a while. Gumi. Gumi is likely player for sure. Gumi could go here. That would be fun. Throw Antfrost on there. That could be a good team. Gumi could end up working there. New team, maybe. This is repetitive. I must say that. Ollie. Now, Ollie and Eloise obviously would be a good combo. But Ollie with Skizzleman? Now that sounds like a fun time. Ollie could also go here. That's probably... Actually, that makes sense. That's a good team. This is my first team. First locked-in team. Squiddo, unlikely to make an appearance, I think, in this event. Unlikely. John's a bit of an anomaly. He technically could be in this event. I don't expect it, but he technically could be in this event. It's not impossible. He technically could be. I'm gonna not predict that he's gonna be in this one, but he could be. Vic, he is not gonna be in this event. This man is too busy doing other things. Nestor's a dupe. We already had Nestor. Pokimane. Yeah, unfortunately, we'll not see a Pokimane appearance today. 4C. Now, 4C is somebody who was active in Rats near the end of the Rats life cycle. It's technically possible that 4C makes an appearance. However, I am not going to expect it. I don't think we're seeing a new lifesteal ad, and if any of them will be... Oh, okay, I think if we see any lifesteal ad, it's Panky, and we're not going to see another one, probably. So that's my guess. Pyroscythe will not be in this event most likely, but it's not impossible, because he did have the TCG little bit at the end, where he maybe, you know, maybe him and Scott could have gone along pretty well. Michael, possible to see Michael in this event, obviously, that is very much something that is potentially going to happen, which would probably place him, I guess, here for now. That's the best spot to put him. Lexi. Now, Lexi, I'm going to use kind of as like the, not placeholder, but like the replacement, the substitute for Ross. This makes sense, but I think that's likely. Lexi here would have been good had Elena not been there yet, because balancing, right? But I think this will be my Ross replacement temporarily. Sylvie, I think, is unlikely to be in the event. I don't think Sylvie would want to play in MCC anymore. If she would, she'd probably be on Cyan. Cleo is very interesting. Cleo could be in the event. I think it's unlikely. I think she'll probably play in Pride. Of course, that's her event. But she could be in the event. Could. Emphasis on could. I am going to assume no. Connor is a duplicate. Curryway. Now, Curryway, I think is genuinely a 50-50 of whether he's going to be in or not. Because Curry so far has only made an appearance in the Rivals events, but I do think that Curry is somebody who very much deserves a spot in MCC. However, adding more Esters permanently to the roster is difficult, and if we suspect that Pangy is going to be in potentially, right, because we know he's confirmed in Rivals, he could potentially be a main roster addition. That is another good player thrown into the mix. Not an S tier, but a good player. And even a good player makes a good amount of impact on the overall skill level of the event, because it's just more interest shown in the event, and generally speaking, the good players will want to be the ones to sign up consistently. So Curry, I do think, is likely to potentially be in. I don't think it's guaranteed at all. I don't think it's like a, oh, for sure, but it could happen. I'm going to put him with Skiz. I think that'd be fun. Lewis, I think, is not as likely. I think it'd be really cool to see Lewis in, though. I'd love to see Lewis make an appearance. I'm going to use Lewis as my substitute for Pangy. This makes sense as a team regardless, but I'm going to use Lewis as my Pangy substitute for now. Ant Venom could be in this event. Going to put Ant Venom over here. That would make sense. Oh, crap. There you go. That obviously would make sense. Nestor, I've now had again for like the however manyth time. Quackity will not be in this event. Unless there's this major Spanish team with like Shadun, Sprain, whoever, but it's probably not. Capitan Gato already on the squad. And Frost, I could also actually use Quackity technically as a substitute new Spanish player, right? For Sprain or someone like that. And Frost, I said would fit here. Is that balanced? Ant is way better than SB. Martin and Gumi could be similar depending on the day, but Martin generally is quite a bit better. Ollie is probably a bit better than Velvet, and I think Mog and Puffy could be on a similar level, but Ant being a significantly better player is very notable. I do think that probably is okay, but do I need Ant here, or can I put Ant here as well? That's a good fit. I'm not guaranteed to get 5 up. I'll probably stick to that, because who else am I wanting to get there? Like Wally Bear, maybe? Hannah, possibly? Could be good to get there. There's a couple of people I could get that would fit there pretty decently well. 5 up, of course, as well. I think that Ant is just such a good fit there. Dave could be also a decent fit there. I think we have a couple of people we could potentially roll. Though that same kind of applies to Aqua Team, where Aqua Team could just end up having people that work pretty well there. So I'm going to put Ant there just to make it a cohesive team. Eloise is a duplicate. Cherry Fire. Cherry Fire is a mystery for me. Cherry could be in the event. It's possible that we see Cherry in the event. I think it's unlikely, but it's possible. I'm gonna assume no for now, but it would be cool. Cleo we already had at some point. Ollie Gamers. I'm gonna use Ollie Gamers as another as another potential substitute Spanish player. The problem is, I don't think you're getting a Spanish team without Shadun. I think Shadun is entirely responsible for bringing in Spanish streamers. But this could just end up being a team. Not this exact one. A Spanish team is possible. It's just a matter of, would Aquino bring someone along? Would Capitan Gato bring someone along in this case? How would that work? I don't know, but I guess we have a Spanish team in front of us. I guess we have one. False symmetry, putting false on green probably, right? False could also go with Curry. Ooh, would probably be better off going with Curry. Probably a little better off with Curry. I do need like a decently experienced hermit there, but like a Grian or something would just be great, right? So I don't know. SB's a dupe. Izuma. Ooh. So that's a curious one here, because Azuma I want to put here. The problem is, this feels too weak. Though it has Feinberg on it, and as much as I don't want to glaze Feinberg, he is Feinberg, so that is something. I could also set up a new team to potentially have more Hermit rep, because my Hermit rep is just a bunch of teams with Hermits, and that's it. There is a chance we get more Hermit rep. So maybe I should go for that. Am I banking on getting that many more Hermits though? Who am I hoping for the rest? I think this is safe. If I get Green though, I'm going to eat my own words, but Green would go here fine as well. Gumi's a duplicate. Foolish. God, I want to see Foolish in MCC again so bad. I think it's possible with the recent Realm, activity that people would maybe get in MCC and talk about MCC on the Realm, and thus some of the people would play again, but I just don't see it happening, man. I wish, but probably not. Ethan Nestor won't be playing in this MCC, at least most likely not. I still have him as crank gameplays on there. Ponk probably will not be in this MCC. Snag, possible, likely candidate to be in this MCC. Do we put Sneak on red though? Who else am I hoping for that team, or do I just give Sneak this team, which is not a very strong one? Probably not either. Do I build a team around him? Probably not. Do I put him here? Probably not. Put Sneak here. It doesn't really make sense, but like technically could be possible. Vic I already had. Capitan Gato already had. Dave. I think I mentioned Dave to be potentially on one of these, right? I think I had Dave already on my list of potential players. I think I had him as like the person that could go there, but he could also go here. Is that strong? Possibly. Could be. But that's what we're running. Goldie will not be in this MCC, unless he's on a Spanish team. But I assume that's unlikely. Becky already on a team. Cherry Fire already mentioned. Owen. Now Owen could be on orange, or on red, sorry. Could be on orange as well, of course, because he's Owen, but that technically could not be a full team, but like part of a team. We have an entirely open team slot. That's terrifying. Owen could also go here. Well, there's like a realm team. I think a realm team is safe. H-bomb. Building a team around H-bomb, I think, right? This could be an approach. This would be cool, but that's very strong for this roster, I think. Is it? Is it? Yeah, probably. So we're probably going with that. Gucky. Gucky would probably be with H in this instance. Not necessarily a combo that I would think of immediately, but it could work. Sniff. Sniff again would probably go with that team for this instance. Not not a combo I would immediately. Actually, no. Sniff and H would work out fine. Nestor again. Elena, already have. Samant. Well, Samant's gotta go on purple, I think, here. That's cool, though. I think it's not very likely that we see Smollett make an appearance unless, for example, Curry or Fine or whoever, like Fruit, decided to ask Samant to duo for this event and got him to sign up, because he will not sign up by himself. Creek will not be in this event. I would highly doubt that. Who's next? Ryan Grinios. Ryan Grinios could be on a team for sure. That is possible. Ryan Grinios probably going to be here for now. Could also do that. That could be a fun team. We'll do that. Actually, you know what? We'll do that. Quig. I'm going to crush some people's dreams maybe, but no. I don't think Quig's going to be in this MCC. Conrad's bench we already had. Nominal Gravy will not be in this MCC probably. Michaela would be fun. We're gonna need an S tier to tie that together, but we'll see who that ends up being. Possibly Steve Septic. I actually do think could end up being in this event. That is the problem. I think it's possible because it's supposedly he was interested in playing. Well, he will have to go there and Quackity anyways. That's my quote-unquote MCC team predictions. We'll do proper ones on stream today, because this is when the video will be scheduled today. And yeah, make sure to be there if you're interested. We'll see if the randomizer decided to be accurate in a way. I mean, it's also my responsibility to put people together, because I can almost guarantee you maybe like half of these people, or maybe at least 25%, I think are going to be in this event. I think 10 of these 40 people are probably in this MCC, if not more. Maybe even half. Half of these people could be in this event. It's just a matter of, also keep in mind substitutes, right? Quackity and Ollie I had as fill-ins for new Spanish players. Lewis and Lexi I had as fill-ins for new Realm players. I don't know if I did any more, but you know what I mean. So let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you all on stream. So yeah, bye.